Hello everyone, it's Imran here. Welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to react to another Thomas and Friends audio story, but this is a story that's written by Richard Jordan. And for those of you who don't know who Richard Jordan is, he's one of the best writers in the Thomas fandom, he is. And basically, he also wrote a lot of good stories, like, the Percy and the Evil Truck arc with Down the Hill and Through the Fog It Creeps. Still waiting for for possibly the final part of his arc. There was also other stories like Across the Bridge. There was like some great stories like No Stone Unturned. James Makes a Mistake, Trial of Trust. What other stories did Richard Jordan write? So there were obviously like emotional ones like Thomas and the Old Oak Tree, scary ones like In the Dark Siding, and oh my god, there's literally so many good stories that he's written that I can't remember all of them, but he has written a lot of good stories, and this was actually his latest one that I actually saw on his Twitter. This, which is that, and it was the cover that really got me looking curious. So obviously there hasn't been a trained adaptation of it, but I really wanted to see what the story was about. So the story that is in question that I'm going to react to through an audio adaptation is called A Part of Me Stayed Behind. So I haven't listened to the full story, but I have heard um for what happened about it from some people on Twitter that I mean, I don't have Twitter, but I do view it, that what the story's about. It's about Thomas and Gordon learning what really happened at Tory Wreck Mines during the events of Down the Mine. I'm not really sure what it is, but I think it has something to do with the pilot Thomas and Gordon engines that was obviously in the 1983 Down the Mine pilot, which, according to rumors that I heard in the fandom, that is being considered to be restored. So, the original pilot footage of Down the Mine being restored for the 80th anniversary of the franchise in 2025, which is 2 years away. So yeah, so there were actually two audio adaptations of this story. And I decided to go with the Cody Fans 25 Creations audio adaptation version of this. So yeah, I'm not really sure, but I don't feel like that this is going to be a very good story. It probably might be a sad one with a twist. So yeah, let's just see what this story by Richard Jordan is about. Link to the video and reaction in the description down below as always. So without further ado, let's just get straight into this. Don't know why I have a bad feeling about this story. Oh, so those are like the pilot engines they do.
Part of me stayed behind.
Pardon me. Written by Richard Jordan, narrated by
One early morning, Gordon awoke with a start. He felt strange, but could not explain why. His driver, who had come to clean him before work began, reassured him. "It's the ditch water," he said to Gordon. "It can get into your mechanical workings and make you feel sick."
Oh, so
Gordon was satisfied with that explanation, but what was odd was that he couldn't remember falling into the ditch, even though it had recently happened.
Yeah.
The memory was fuzzy at best. "I'm just exhausted from pulling the express so well," he chuckled to himself, and fell back into an uneasy sleep. He dreamt of vague images, those of a mine and of darkness below. In these images, he felt apart from himself, as if viewing the events from above. He couldn't see anything clearly,
so this is the events
but he felt strongly that these memories didn't belong to him.
What do you mean by that?
Later that morning, Gordon sleepily brought his train to the junction. Thomas, who looked equally tired, greeted him with a smile. "Long night?" Thomas asked. "Yes, I had some very strange dreams," Gordon replied.
So it has to do with something that with Off the Rails and Down the Mine, obviously. What is it? I really want to know, but at the same time, it's kind of a bit uneasy knowing that Gordon doesn't even remember himself falling into the ditch, or Thomas not even remembering himself falling down the mine at Tory Wreck. That's so weird.
Me too. It was like we were back in the mine again. But when I
Yeah.
awoke, I couldn't actually remember being there at all. Gordon's eyes widened.
So
I have
yeah,
the same dreams. Come to think of it, I couldn't remember falling into the ditch, much less rescuing you from the mine. What does it mean? Thomas asked. I
yeah.
don't know. We only just came back. I remember bringing you to the yard just before the Queen came to the island. I
Mhm.
remember that too. But why can't we remember actually being at the mine? The two engines decided to find out for themselves.
Okay.
That night, the two of them pumped up the line which led from the big station. They rounded the bend that led to the mines, but were met with cautionary signs for tread. Danger! Collapsed mine ahead. We'll have to investigate
Okay.
from here, said their crews. They walked past the signs and towards the collapsed mine shafts. They came back a short while later. What are you doing back so soon? Thomas asked.
Yeah.
Nothing to see. Let's head back. Thomas and Gordon didn't believe them. You didn't even take a light with you. How can you have seen anything? Their
Yeah.
crews insisted, but Thomas resisted. He sped through the cautionary signs and stopped at the edge of a large, gaping pit.
That was where he fell
When
down
he
the
looked
mine.
down inside, he shrieked.
What do you mean?
Gordon? Thomas called, tears welling in his eyes.
What is
In
it?
the pit were two mangled engines. One
What?
looked exactly like Gordon, and the other like Thomas.
Wait, two engines
Who
that
are
look
these
like Thomas and
engines?
Gordon?
Gordon asked. A terrible fiend began stewing deep in his boiler. I can explain, said a familiar voice. The Fat Controller stood next
Was
to
the
his
Fat
car, a
Controller?
light in his hand. I had hoped this day would never come, but alas, here we are. These were you, he continued
Wait,
sullenly.
what? Those two engines were Thomas and Gordon? So it was something to do with the 1983 pilot of that. So this was a story that Richard Jordan was talking about with a twist. It was based off something in a tweet he made. Oh, oh, it was them. So Thomas and Gordon fell in the mine, and only their faces were recovered.
What do you mean, were? Asked Thomas, distress in his voice.
Yeah.
When you fell into the mine, Thomas, you didn't just fall. The mine collapsed beneath you, swallowing you whole. We tried bringing Gordon, our strongest engine, to lift you out with a pulley system, but
Okay.
we misjudged how hollow the shaft was below, and he too fell into the golem chasm beneath the ground. But
Oh,
how can we be here if we're down there? Gordon asked.
yeah.
It is a gruesome tale, said the Fat Controller. We had a major scandal due to our lack of judgment, and to save face, we saved your faces. There was a talented engineer from crew who
You
moved
saved
your
their
identities into new shells.
faces.
The entries you see below, your formal selves,
Wait, he
are
disagreed.
from crew who saved your faces. There was a talented engineer from crew who moved your identity.
And there was a talented engineer from crew as well who did that. The same, because and crew was the same place where Henry went to his rebuild. Went for his rebuild after his accident with the flying kipper. Oh my goodness. Oh, oh no. I don't know if I'll be able to look at Thomas and Gordon the same way again. And I don't think I'll be able to watch Off the Rails and Down the Mine again following that. Following watching this. Holy cow.
Identities into new shells. The entries you see below, your formal selves, were prototypes. Thomas and Gordon didn't
Prototypes.
know what to say.
Types
In
of
their
themselves.
confusion, they began to cry. That doesn't change who you are now, the Fat Controller said. You're still two of my most useful engines.
Yeah.
We gave you another chance. And avoided a scandal. We understand, Thomas said in a derisive tone. Soon after, the two engines slunk home, buffer to buffer. Everything felt familiar and foreign at the same time. They didn't feel whole anymore, knowing that a part of them was rotting away in the bowels of the mind. They only hoped that one day, many years from now, these memories will become fuzzy too.
Yeah. Wow, that was something I wasn't expecting. So it had to do with something with their pilot model. So this was based off. Okay, so we've had, the two Henry theories we did, where basically a new Henry was built and the original one was just left behind at crew. That's kind of like a theory. We've had, the theory that Wilbur and 16 are the same engine. Basically, Wilbur was the one who had the accident at the steelworks on the mainland, and then he was given a new identity therefore transforming into Wilbur from 16, and he just made up 16 as a separate character to Thomas and Toby. But this, oh, I feel so bad for Thomas and Gordon. So they fell in the mine. I mean, Gordon shouldn't be allowed to travel down Thomas's branch line anyway, because the weight of the line cannot take the big engines. You know, oh, I really, really, really don't know what to say upon listening to that. I mean, it it's bad enough just hearing it via an audio story, but listening, but if this is becomes an actual episode from Trains that's adapted onto Trains, I mean, I literally don't know how that one will go. Because the pilot models were basically prototypes of the models of what Thomas and Gordon will become in the television series, but I really have nothing else to say upon reading that. That was definitely a proper story with a twist right there. I really have nothing else to say. I'm actually lost for words. I think I'm just going to end this video right here. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Probably not after that, but if you did, hit that like button for me. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this video I reacted to, or audio adaptation. I'm pretty sure a lot of you are going to be very shocked at what you heard about that. And also let me know in the comments down below what other videos you want me to react to next. Share this video, subscribe if you're new here, ring that bell to get notified for when I upload new videos or when I post on community tab. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!